and welcome to Scandicor's demo room. Today I'll be showing a quick video to go over how to set up the Omnicut. So first of all, I've laid everything out, unpacked everything and laid it out on the table here. So you have your digital die cutter here, and then this power cord is for your digital die cutter, and you have your magnetic stops for your paper. You have your brackets for your exit tray and all the screws, and then you have your power cord for the feed table. You have your cable to go from your feed table to your digital die cutter and your manual, and then it comes with a loop for checking the depth of your blade, and a blue blade holder, and one blue blade, your dongle, and a Sharpie. So the first step in setting it up is to put the brackets on your exit tray. So that it comes with 3 different sizes here. Make sure you use the small, 4 small ones for screwing your brackets onto the exit tray. Now take your base plate and set it on the table exactly the way you see it there. Take your exit tray, slide it in the grooves, bring it up like that, and drop it onto into the holes there. Take your 4 large nuts, now we'll put the tray onto the base plate. So you'll see that there's 2 die cutout holes on the base plate. And then on the feed table, you'll see that there's 2 feet there. Those feet need to drop into the holes. Just like that. Put into place now. Now we take the die cutter. You'll see the 4 feet here, and then they drop into the 4 holes here. And now that's in place. So now that it's assembled, we will power it up. So this cord here is the power cord for the digital die cutter. Plugs in on the back here. And that goes to your 110 power outlet. This is your power cord for the feed table. That goes to your 110 power outlet. Then from your converter to the feed table. Now we take this power cord, plug the USB into the furthest USB plug from the on-off switch, and then this goes around and plugs into your digital die cutter. Now we take the red dongle and that plugs into the first USB port. So once again, power, and then this cord here plugs into your PC for setting up and running your jobs. First USB plug port is for your dongle, and the last USB port is for going to your digital die cutter. Then you power these two up to your 110 power outlet. This plugs into your PC. Now we take our blue knife holder, unscrew the bottom cap, take your blue blade, now that's ready to go. So for setting up the depth for your job, there's two different ways of doing it. You can take two sheets of paper, take your blade and pull it across the paper and make sure you're cutting through the first sheet and not into the second sheet. And then if you need to have more depth to cut through the first sheet, you simply screw the end knob in or out until you're just cutting through the first sheet and not the second sheet. Then you know your depth is right for your blade. The other way to do it is to insert it into your loop. And then you can look in the loop there at the graph and figure out, once you get familiar with it, how far out the blade needs to be sticking on the measuring tape there for the job that you're doing. So I've not set the depth, but for this demonstration, I'll just show you how to put the blade in now. So you simply take the blade and drop it into your blade holder. Now there's two different spots that this blade can go in. It can go in the one closest to you or the one closest to the die cutter. And that determines whether it cuts into that cutting groove or whether it cuts on top of that cutting stick. Now for the groove is used for everything for cutting, scoring, and the top cutting stick is only used if you're doing kiss cutting on labels. So if you're doing kiss cutting on labels, you'd insert that in there and tighten that up. If you're cutting straight through for door hangers, stuff like that, you would put it on the one closest to you and tighten that up in place. When you're running your job, if your depth isn't far enough down, you can adjust the depth on your PC as well as on the blade by simply just turning that down. Now the next step is to set up your feed rollers. So this lever on the back engages the feed tires there. So when you put the lever down, that disengages it, go up, and that engages the pressure on your feed rollers there. Now it's very critical that these feed rollers, when they're down on the shaft, it's on the grippy part of the shaft. You'll see that there's a few different spots that's grippy on there. For doing 1218 or 1319 sheets, you want to make sure it's on the small grippy part on the one side there. And then you would move this around accordingly so that you're within about ½ an inch of the end of each side of your sheet. And then if you're doing 8.5, 11 sheets, for 8.5, 11 sheets, you take this bracket here, drop it into place, and use those to fasten it down. and then your 8.5 11 sheets would jog up against this side, and your magnets would go on here. When you're doing 12 18 or 13 19 sheets, which is what most people will be running, you jog it up against this side here with the magnets on each side, just like that. So that is how you set the machine up. Now you're ready to power it up. On-off switch here on the digital die cutter, and then an on-off switch on the feed tray. And that should be everything you need for setting up your machine and getting you ready to start doing your programming.